Hey guys, Beth Murphy here. I missed you guys. I probably haven't made a video in at least a week. And what that means for me is I have too many ideas in my head now. So I had to write them down. And in the future, I would still like to talk about, actually, I think INFs are empaths, not just J's. And then also I want to talk about in the near future, the biggest argument that I have with Mr. Sensor Thinky. The funny thing is, funny, not funny, it's the same argument, it just has different cast characters and situations, right? And you probably have that too. So I want to talk about that because I think it's really important, especially if you don't know. You don't want to get lost in, is it me, is it them? No, it's not. You're just hardwired differently. So it'll help you, kind of ease up on yourselves if you don't know that already. Maybe you do. And then don't look for on the outside for answers. They're on your insides. The whole world is going to tell you something different. Well, not the whole world, maybe 80% of the world. Those are the other types that rely on data. You're going to have to learn to pull way, 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 way back and not look to them for validation. Some of that they do claim is our quote unquote type. And then also I know that for me personally, the need for validation, it also comes from a childhood that wasn't supported. Now that's very common, right? So it's hard to tell sometimes. And I think I'm pretty good about saying, this might just be a Beth thing. So here we go. I want to talk about, and this is why I've been away. I've been chasing balloons. That's what I call when I have all these wonderful, beautiful thoughts and ideas, and I get really excited. And truthfully, I do this with my friend, my hiking friend Jill, who is an INFJ. I call it our synergy. It's kind of magical, I have to tell you. It's like when I'm all dialed in, on point, whatever you want to call it. And then I looked at my friend, and for some reason, we're kind of in the same patterns. And we're even in the same quiet, I'm dealing with something patterns. It's very interesting, I have to tell you. But I have this kind of harmony with my other INFJ friend as well. So, like I say, if you want to be understood, go find another one of you. If they're not out there, just find one online. And then I always find comfort with the other INFs anyways. They kind of feel me. We can't meet 100%. But anyway, so the theme today is work. I can remember very clearly how my work life was from the start of age 15 until 45. So I feel like I have a lot I can talk to you about. Certainly if you're a young person on this side of that, and then if maybe you just found out you're an INFJ, or you hadn't really thought about what it might mean to you, or maybe you were raised in a critical atmosphere, so you were indirectly taught to criticize your own thoughts about yourself. So I just want to jump in there and kind of remind you that you're okay as you are, and let's work with your strengths. All right? So what are those strengths? Well, the way I see it is, now, the I in us, the introvert, what does that mean? Whether you're an I or an E for the extrovert, it's saying, where do you get jazzed up from? Where do you pull your good feelings from? If you're an extrovert, you pull them from a crowd. And I have experienced that. It's just predominantly not where I thrive. And that's, this is the difference. This is why we test this way. Predominantly, we're going to get our energy, our good feelings from the quiet, wherever that quiet is. My quiet is at home with a cup of coffee in my bathrobe or in my comfy clothes on the couch under a blanket, and I will have the internet. And when I was a kid, I would have books. Now, my friend Jill, that you see in our videos, hers is outside. And if you've seen us together, I feel that outside too. It's just my personality, Beth, is more of a housebound, because I'm also a Virgo. Like you are other things, obviously. Virgos are kind of earthy and, wait a minute, wouldn't that put me outside? Well, all I know is I'm down to earth. I'm pretty easy. I like being in a controlled atmosphere, and I'm allergic to 90% of the stuff outside. Anyway, back to where we get our energy. So we're predominantly getting our energy from being alone rather than being with people. What does that mean? It means that just like the inside and the being an introvert, if this throws us or gives us harmony or gets us a clear head so we can get excited about something, then what do you think the E does? If you put us with other people, well, now you're getting the opposite. All right? And I believe that if we're forced to be with a bunch of people, this for me was when I would get disharmony, unclear. And rather than excited, here's what my energy turned into: anxiousness, anxiety, and restlessness. All right? So in regards to your work, if you can be an entrepreneur, you're going, in my opinion, you're going to thrive, because I don't feel that we have the desire to live the world as the sensor thinkies. And that's like, here, you do this was proven, then you do this, everyone's doing this, like so, okay? To me, that goes against everything that we're hardwired to be. That's my personal experience. That's when I look at my INFJ friends. This is my belief. The sensor thinkies, like what I'm married to, I've had to explain to my husband, I'm never going to be that person that comes home every week and brings home a paper and it's going to say the exact same dollar amount on it every week. Just not going to be that. It's not going to happen. So I have to go with my own flow. Now, when I tried to force myself to be in the other world, because of our, we have our intuition and we have our feelings, we're picking up stuff from the atmosphere. So whether you work in an office, you're going to be picking up the vibes from all of the other people. I worked in a restaurant, so I was with all of the customers. And that had its ups and downs, because my feelings were based on how they were feeling, and just the energy of the room was it. In the busy times, I was on fire. Man, I just loved it. I loved it. But when it was dead, I was restless because I couldn't control my own ups and downs. And then when there was negativity in my space, whether it was a customer or several customers, or honestly, I could get away from the negative customers if I had to, unless it was dead and they were right in front of me and they were the only customer I had. But the television behind me, restaurants have televisions like behind the bar or whatever. When that was on a news program and they were just pumping out, pump, negative news to get people interested, right? Because if you can scare people, you can get their attention. If you can get their attention, you can get their dollars. You guys already, I feel like you already know that stuff. So I hadn't watched news at home for forever. But when I was at my work, there it was. So it was very impressionable. So I began to understand that my future is not going to be able to include 9 to 5, so to speak, Monday through Friday, that kind of schedule. I have to honor my natural flow. And if you know this already and you're not able to make that jump to be in some sort of an entrepreneur, what I'm going to implore you to do is do it in your mind first. All right. If you can't control what's going on outside, you can still control what's going on the inside. All right. And this is where my energy science degree comes in to try to help you. You can live there in your mind first. Now, what might that look like? Well, if you're in an office and maybe you're not in a cubicle, you might have to try extra hard to not interact with people. If they're being gossipy, if also they're putting down their boss. Now that's a very common bandwagon to jump on for any of us because we're all human, right? But that's not good for you especially, because you're going to walk away from that and you're going to feel worse because you feel so much more. The other people might not have the same experience, so they can drop somebody in the poop and just go walk away and finish their coffee. You like my doodles? That's a coffee cup. All right. You can't really necessarily do that. So it's going to be extra important for you to not gossip. All right. I'm not judging you. I'm just saying I'm trying to protect you. And it's going to be very, very important for you not to join the people that might be like ganging up on somebody. You know, it feels good for a second and then you're going to feel worse than everyone else. So if you don't already know that, you're going to have to stay at your desk and you're going to have to go off in your head in your quiet times. That might mean going for a walk at noon. Maybe you know this already. Good for you. You can plan your life in those in-between times. When I was, quote unquote, stuck at a restaurant, I didn't know any other way out, but I still had hope. I always used to brainstorm business ideas on paper. I was just a kid, like in my mid-20s, and I was thinking of all these things to do. But it helped me. It took the edge off, and it decreased my anxiousness and my restlessness because I have a lot of mental energy and it wants to travel. It wants to go and do. So I need to also have the belief that I can go and do, if not now, in the future. I have to cultivate that belief. And then it soothes all of that. And one day, I'll know that I'm going to get out of that. Because I think we are visionaries. I think that we are not as encumbered as the sensor thinkies. Now, there's nothing wrong with them. There's a natural balance in the world. We're a smaller percent. You don't need 50% of the world to be visionaries. We might not get as much done. So everything is perfect just the way it is. I want to teach everyone to honor themselves. And then, but I do think you might want to look into that. I think we're natural entrepreneurs. We have a lot in us, and we do not operate like the sensor thinkies. These people like science. They remember they like data. We don't thrive on that. We're going to need the freedom. So for me as an entrepreneur, which I am now, when I have that energetic day, I'll go do all that outside stuff. And then I have my quiet time, I'll do my inside stuff. So it's a better reflection of my natural energy rhythms and who I really am. And if I couldn't do this right now, I do remember what it was like when I couldn't. I would live it in my head first. And that's our summary. And know that you will get there. And you can find a half an hour at lunch. Remember, pull back. Pull back from that job if it's not serving you. It's a paycheck. It's the means to an end, and you will get where you're going if that's what you want. And I am working under the assumption that, you know, you're not going to be happy in that sensor thinky world. That I'm going to have to make assumptions to make videos. But I think that most of us are natural entrepreneurs. Unless you've got like a niche where, you know, INFJs can also work in a small group. Because my other girlfriend, INFJ friend, she's a doctor, so she works in like a small kind of clinic, not like a hospital situation. And it seems to fit her natural flows to be kind of in a little bit of quiet. All right. I hope you got something out of that. If anything, just honor who you are, listen to your own natural rhythms, and trust that you don't have to fit in with those sensor thinkies. You're not meant to, you know. You need to be fully who you are. All right. In the future, I'll do some of these other topics. I'm sorry I keep promising them and not doing them, but I have to honor my own flow. I don't know when the stuff comes out of me either, but I trust it. All right. Take care, guys. Love you. Bye.